Hello guys, my name is Leah Charity of Ansha Crochets, and today we are making a cropped cardigan, and these are the materials that we're going to use. I'm using a 3.5mm hook. I'll be needing a cutter, I'll be needing a tape measure, and I'll also be needing a darning needle, but you could also use a hook if you don't have a darning needle. And I'll also be using this wool. This wool is a Charity brand, it's a South African brand. And the recommended hook size is a 4mm hook, all right, but I'll be using a 3mm hook, all right. It's 100% acrylic and it's a double knit yarn, all right. So you'll also need a stitch marker. So this is the cardigan that we'll be making, and if you want to learn how to make the flowers also, I have a tutorial on that, so I'll just pin the link on the description box so you can visit the tutorial and learn how to do this. But then if also you want it to be plain, that's okay, you can just leave it plain because it's really beautiful, and I love the way it turned out. So beautiful, so neat, and so cozy. So I like pulling my yarn from the middle because that way I don't struggle with the yarn running around as I unravel, as I work. So this is what you're going to do. You are going to make a slip knot. This is how I do my own. Alright, just a basic knot. Right, insert your hook, and you are going to make a chain that is equivalent to 18 inches. Normally a cropped cardigan, it's short and oversized, all right. So you're going to make either 17 inches or 19 inches, and for me I am doing 18 inches non-stretched, okay. So I've chained up to 74, and that 74 reaches up to 18 inches based on my hook size and my yarn size. All right, so go ahead and grab a stitch marker, and on your chain mark count 18 stitches and place your stitch marker there. All right, this is the part that you'll be using for the ribbing. All right, so after this you are going to chain extra one, all right, and then you yarn over and skip the chain because it's a turning chain, and do a half double crochet. All right, a half double crochet, you yarn over into the chain, yarn over and pull through 3. All right, yarn over into the chain, pull, yarn over into the chain, pull. All right, yarn over into the chain. So after you chain your extra one, you're going to yarn over and skip the extra one you just did, and go into the next stitch with a half double crochet stitch, slip stitch. All right, you pull. Half double crochet slip stitch is you yarn over, go into the chain, right, yarn over, slip stitch, right, yarn over into the chain, yarn over, slip stitch, yarn over into the chain, yarn over, slip stitch. All right, so you are going to do that until you reach the point where you've put your stitch marker. So again, yarn over into the chain, yarn over, slip stitch, into the chain, yarn over, slip stitch, into the chain, yarn over, slip stitch. So I'm almost coming to the end of my row, and I'm left with one until I get to the stitch marker. So I'm going to yarn over for the last time, into the chain, yarn over and slip stitch. All right, as you can see, I'm holding this middle stitch and pull through. All right, so from there I'm going to go into the slip stitch with stitch marker, sorry, with a slip stitch. So it's up to you whether you put a stitch marker there or you're just going to count. And make sure you are not doing tight stitches here, because if you do, coming back will be a problem. So you're going to go ahead and put your 18 slip stitches, which is you go into the chain, yarn over, pull through, into the chain, yarn over, pull through. So make sure that your stitches are not tight. So do that and we will meet at the end. I've come to the end. I'm placing my last slip stitch. Alright, from here I chain 1, I turn my work, and I'm going to work my slip stitches in the back loop only. Alright, I know I'm working with black and it could be difficult, but it is a client's project, so it's the request of the client. Go ahead, make a slip stitch. Go ahead, make your slip stitches on all your 18 stitches. Make sure they are not tight. It will do you so much good, but make sure that the tension you are using is equal. Alright, so do that. So I've come to the point of my stitch marker and I'm going to place my last slip stitch. Alright, and then at this point where I'm doing the half double crochet slip stitches, so I'm going to yarn over, go into the back loop. Alright, the back loop only, insert, yarn over, hold my middle loop, slip stitch. Alright, yarn over, go into the back loop, yarn over, hold my middle stitch and pull. Alright, yarn over, into the loop, yarn over, pull, hold my middle stitch, and that. So you're going to keep on doing that all the way until you finish this row, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. Make sure your stitches are not tight. It will do you so much good. Alright, as you can see, our work here is expanding because of the difference of the stitches. In here it's a little bit smaller. So I've come to the end and I'm going to do my last. So I'm going to yarn over into the very last stitch, and over again, hold my middle and pull. Alright, from here I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, yarn over into the next, and repeat everything that we have been doing. Alright, so we are going to carry on and do this until you reach your desired measurement. Alright, your desired measurement. So right now we are on 1 inch. Wow, okay, we are on 1 inch, and you're going to repeat that until you reach your desired measurement. So my client's bust measurement is 40 divided by 2 is 20. So a cardigan is normally a little bit oversized, so I'm going to add extra 5 inches to make it 25 inches. So this panel I'm going to make it 25 or 26, I'll decide. So I think I'll make it a little bit extra. So I'm going to work this until I reach my 25 inches, then I'll come back, do the same, work your desired measurement, and come back and we'll continue. Basically this is how I'm planning to structure our cardigan, and this will be our back panel. Alright, and this will be our front panels. So you can decide to do this separately and the back panel alone using the same measurement. So this back panels should measure up to 11 inches and you make 2 of them, and then the back panel is 26 inches. So the whole cardigan should measure around 48 inches when it's flat. Alright, and it can fit a size medium, large, or extra large, all right, because of the oversized structure of it, and depending on the fit that the client wants, all right. And then the ribbing, our ribbing, which is the 18 stitches, would measure up to 4 inches, all right. And the half double crochet slip stitch from the ribbing going up is going to measure about 13 inches non-stretched. So all of this will measure up to 17 inches, even though we started with 18 inches, all right, because which means that if you make it 17 inches, your foundation chain, if it's 17 inches, your cardigan will end up being 16 inches, all right. So I did 18 inches so that I can end up with 17 inches, all right. So my intention is to do this cardigan, both the back panel and the front panels, without doing them separately, but you could do that for an easy thing, all right, just that for an easy way out. Just that for me, I think I should just do this, all right. So I'm going to leave the arm area here, which means after my 11 inches, this 11 inches, I am going to start working everything from the same way that I've been doing, going up, all right. And at the point where I think my armhole should be, that's when I will stop and make a chain for the remaining chains to match up to the numbers that are left there, all right. So that's what I'm going to do. Then I continue into the back panel. So as you can see that the front panels are 11 inches, which means this is 22 plus 26, which is 48. But then this times 2, it's 22, which means the remaining here is 4 inches. So this 4 inches, when you finally mesh this together, this 4 inches will be the neck part, all right. And that's when you'll do the ribbing thereafter, okay. So don't worry about that. If at all you are making the mats and it doesn't sum up correctly, this is the reason. So by so saying, when you get to this point, after you reach your 11 inches, that means you're going to work as normal until you reach, as normal I mean from the ribbing going up, you're going to work your 7 inches, all right. So you're going to work 7 inches, all right. After 7 inches, you're going to make a chain that is equivalent to 6 inches, which will be the opening of the armhole, which will be this part, all right. So this opening of the armhole will take around 26 chains, all right. According to my measurements, it will take 26 chains, and then you start working normally, going down just like that until you reach this point. When you reach this point, again you're going to work as normal, and then when you reach your 7 inches, the same way you did here, you are going to make a chain equivalent to 6 inches, which is about 26 chains in my measurements, and work your 11 panels as normal. But you'll be seeing everything as I'll be working, and I'll explain everything as I do it. But if you think this is really hard, you can just do the same thing the way we started. We're going to work this part alone, this part alone, and this part alone, and then you'll join them after, all right. There's absolutely no problem with that. So I'm going to explain everything as we work through, and I hope this helps. So I've come to the end of my 11 inches of the first front panel, right? The front panel, the first one, all right. As you can see, this is 11 inches. So my last row ended at the bottom, right? So what I'm going to do is from here I'm going to count my chains that will measure up to 7 inches, which will be the armhole. All right, because that is what we are working on right now. This would be the armhole. All right, so according to my measurements, 7 inches is equivalent to 30 chains. All right, is equivalent to 30 chains. So I'm going to count 30 chains from here and going down and put a stitch marker. All right, so this is what I've done. From here down to here, it's 30 chains, which is exactly 7 inches. All right, and this thing can stretch to up to even 8.5, so it will be good enough for my client. Okay, so what are we doing next? What we are doing next is, since we ended at the bottom, all right, I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and not change anything at all, and work the same way that I've been working. I'm going to put my 18 slip stitches and continue with my half double crochet slip stitch up to I reach the point where I put my stitch marker. All right, so go ahead and do that, and we will meet at the end. Okay, remember I told you not to make this tight, right, so that you will not struggle whenever you have to insert your slip stitches. So I am at the end of my slip stitches, inserting my very last one, and then I'm going to go ahead, yarn over into the back loop, and I do my slip stitch, yarn over into the back loop, slip stitch, yarn over into the back loop, slip stitch. So I'm going to do that until I get to the last stitch before my stitch marker. So I've come to the end. I'm left with only one stitch, so I'm going to yarn over, go into it on the back loop, and do my slip stitch. So what I'm going to do right now, since at this point I have counted 30 chains, I'm going to make a chain of 30 plus 1, which we'll be using as a turning chain. All right, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 30, then extra 1, which we will use as a turning chain. All right, so this is what we have done so far, the 30 chains plus 1, which makes it 31 chains. The chain 1 is a turning chain, and don't mind that it's a bit overlapping. The moment we start to work on it, it will shrink down to the same length. All right, so since you have already chained your extra 1, you're going to turn your work, all right, and start working your slip stitches. All right, your half double crochet slip stitch, sorry. So you're going to yarn over into the chain, slip stitch, the way that you were doing when you started your foundation chain, yarn over into the chain, slip stitch, yarn over into the chain, slip stitch. You're going to work that all the way until you get to a point where you started your slip stitches and work as normal. Then we shall meet as we return from this point. So I've come to the end of my chain 30. So I've already inserted my last one up to the stitch marker, and as you can see, this is a bit twisted because I couldn't really work on the other side of the chain, so it's a bit twisted, but it's okay. So you're going to yarn over into the next chain and do your half double crochet slip stitch, yarn over into the back loop only, right, just as you have been working. So you're going to carry on, do this, and also do your slip stitches. I've come to the point of my slip stitches, and I'm going to chain one and turn my work and keep on working. All right, I'm going to keep on working until I reach to this point. So I'm going to work that point. This is where we are right now. So I'm going to work for 26 inches, all right, and whatever I'm working for 26 inches, my work should end at the bottom, so that I'll be able to do the chain as much as I did this side, sorry. All right, so go ahead and work your chain, and up to, for my measurements, up to 26 inches, then we'll meet there so that we can do our last 11 inches of our front panels and the back panel joined together. All right, I finally come to the end of my 26 inches of the back panel, and I can't show it all on my table, but to measure it easily, you have to fold it into two. All right, you fold it into two so that you are able to measure it on a straight line. And since I'm folding it into two, it means it's supposed to give me 13 inches because it's folded into two, and 13 times 2 is equals to 26. All right, so this is exactly what I'm getting, and it's a little bit over 13, which is okay. All right, so what you're going to do, like I said, you have to make sure that you end at the bottom, at the ribbing, so that you'll be able to do your chain the same way as we did the side. All right, so you're going to count your 30 stitches, and then where your 30 stitches ends, that's when you're going to put a stitch marker, and you continue working from the ribbing going up the same way as we did the side, and you continue doing this part, all right, which is the front panel. So this is my 30th stitch from the top. I'm going to insert my stitch marker, which means me working from down here going up, I'll end on the stitch below the stitch marker. So I've come to the end of my row close to where the stitch marker is, so I'm going to chain the difference, which is 30 chains. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 13 plus 1, which is a turning chain. So you're going to yarn over and work the same way that you've been working. All right, nothing changes. Yarn over into the chain and make a slip stitch, yarn over into the chain, yarn over, hold the middle and slip stitch. All right, so you're going to do that all the way until you reach the end, and repeat until you achieve 15 inches, which is our front panel. And by so doing, your front panel and your back panel will be done. So I've come to the end of both my front panels and the back panel, and so far that's how the structure looks like. So you are going to fold the front panels in so that you have a cardigan shape, or you get a real structure of what you are working into. So my work table is really small, so I decided to spread it on the floor so that you can see everything as it is. All right, so that's how it looks like, one side folded in. All right, this side is folded in. All right, and you're going to go ahead and fold in the next side. All right, so it is at this point that you determine your in and your out, which side will be your wrong side and which side will be your right side. So after this, what you're going to do is, since you have already marked the armholes, right, both sides we have marked the armholes, you're going to go ahead, grab your yarn and count stitches this side and count the other side and join your work, and go ahead and do the same on the other side. So I'm going to go back to my work table and show you how to join this, just that I wanted to show you the structure and how it looks like. And I know you might not see well because it's black, but I think you get the idea. All right, so like I mentioned, you are going to identify your wrong side and your right side of the work, which I did, and we are going to remove these stitch markers. They have served their purpose, so I'm going to remove them so that I can use them right now. Okay, so what you're going to do next is that you are going to count your stitches here, and they'll count as this being 1, this being 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that. So you're going to count them like that, and then you count the same the side, and you're going to join them together using single crochets. All right, so counting mine, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41. All right, so I know the side is 41, so I'm going to count 41 from here, go in that side, and I'll place my slip stitch marker. So I have marked my 41st stitch on the other side, so I'm just going to go ahead, attach my stitch marker, and go ahead and attach it the side also. All right, and just to make sure that everything is corresponding, I'm going to mesh this together. All right, to ensure that everything is good and we are good to go. All right, when I'm done with that, I'll go ahead and join these panels together and do the same on the other panel, and I'll see you after. So I have marked the other side. All right, so these are my 2 points that are marked with stitch markers, sorry, and I'm going to work coming from this side going to the other direction. Okay, and it's completely up to you how you decide to start your work, but for me, I prefer working from this side going there. All right, so you're going to grab your yarn, make a slip knot, okay, which you're going to use to attach. So into this and into this side again. So I'm going to remove my stitch marker. It has served its purpose. So I'm going to go ahead, insert, okay, and then yarn over and do that. So just to make sure that it's secure, I'm going to go in again. All right, and do a single crochet. So you have to make sure that you are picking from the side onto the other side, so that you are not making any mistakes. All right, just like that. You go in here, in at the back, single crochet in the back, single crochet in the back, single crochet in, single crochet. Make sure that you pick on both panels and you do your single crochets. So go ahead, do that until you reach this point. So I'm coming to the end. All right, so you're going to make your single crochets, and as you can see, my work is corresponding. All my edges are meeting at the same point. So since this is the end, you're going to chain 1 and you fasten off the new cut your yarn. All right, so this is how your work will be looking like on the other side, which will be your good side. All right, so you're going to go ahead and do it again on the side. So since I prefer working from this end, which is this end going there, this side I'm going to turn my work and then work from the stitch marker going to the armhole. All right, so I'll insert my yarn, pierce through to the other side and remove the stitch marker. Go ahead, make a knot so that you can attach your yarn. Okay, attach your yarn, go in with a single crochet in the same spot just to secure it, and then you continue to work your single crochets. So you're going to work your single crochets all the way until you reach the end. I've come to the last point, so I'm going to put a single crochet into the very last stitch, put a single crochet, chain 1 and cut my yarn and pull the tail. Okay, so our shoulders are now joined. Okay, so as you can see, we have created the armhole. All right, so now that you are done with your front panel and back panel, front panels and back panel joined together, you are now going to work on your sleeves. All right, so your sleeves are going to measure at the same distance that you left here, all right, which is 7 inches. So because this is a cardigan and it should be a little bit baggy, so your sleeve is going to measure up to 16 inches going down, right, to the ribbing. All right, so this is how your sleeve will be like. So you are going to make 76 chains. All right, your foundation chain will be 76, which is 75 plus 1, which is a turning chain. All right, and working this will be almost around 60 rows, depending on at how much you're going to achieve 16 inches. So for me, it's going to be 60 rows going this way. All right, and my sleeve is going to measure around 17 inches as well. All right, or around 17 point something inches. All right, so you're going to do that and make your row, your foundation chain, sorry, of however long you want your sleeve to be, and you do that, and you're going to work exactly the same way as we've been working. Okay, so you are going to, just as you've been working, grab your yarn and your hook, and then you're going to chain your 75 plus 1, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. So this you're going to do the same way as you started this, our front panel. All right, so go ahead, do the chain, and we shall meet. I'm done with my 76 chain, which is 75 plus a turning chain, and right at the bottom where I started, I'm going to chain 1 2 3, I mean to count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16. All right, and then on my 16th chain, I'm going to put my stitch marker. All right, so this will be our ribbon part. Remember, on the first panel where we started, we were doing 18, but for the sleeve we are going to do 16. All right, so you're going to work your chain just like that, the way we worked the first one, with your half double crochet slip stitches, and continue on doing your slip stitches. So you are going to do this until you reach 16 inches. All right, 16 inches, which is about 60 rows, right? So mine is slightly 16, it's not necessarily 16 but slightly, so that's okay for me. So you're going to do that and we will meet at the end. All right, so for me, I already did the first sleeve before I could show you this demonstration. So this is my panel already. So yes, it measures slightly close to 16, okay, almost 16 inches, and when I turn it to the other side, it measures also around 16 and a half. And remember, this work can stretch, so it's totally okay. So you're going to do 2 of this and we will meet as we join. Okay, done with both my 2 sleeves. Here they lying flat, but what you're going to do is you are going to fold your sleeve into half. All right, you're going to fold it into half. You have to decide the wrong side and the right side, and then this is what you are going to use to join into the body of the sweater. So what you're going to do is that you are going to place a stitch marker in the center of your work so that you'll know where it ends, and put 2 stitch markers on the 2 middle stitches, right, so that you can be able to identify your size very well. Then you are going to join that. So I'm going to show you how to join that. You'll join that using single crochets, right? So this is the sleeve, okay? So while your work is still on the wrong side, the sleeve is like that, lying flat, right? So you are going to fold it into half, right, and make sure everything corresponds well. While at that, we are going to come to the top part. The ribbing is here, there's the top part, and make sure everything is corresponding. If you don't want to count stitches, you can count this ridged effect, right? So you're going to go ahead, and since you're turning it the other side, that means another ridge is going to go into the bridge, just like that. The upper side and the lower side are going to be at the same point, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that, okay? So this upper part will meet with this other upper part on the other side. That's how you can check the correspondence. But besides that, you can just count and just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. And your 30 will be here. Remember, we did 60 rows. So this will be your 30th row. Okay? From here, you're going to count to see if it's really the middle. You count from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So that's your middle. You can decide to either put 2 stitch markers or just 1. It's still okay. All right. Then you're going to grab your main piece. On your main piece, right exactly on this little chain, you are going to go ahead and insert your hook on the space that you have put your stitch marker. All right, and then you're going to pull. Okay, then you are free to remove your stitch marker. As you pull, you'll go in any place where you were doing your single crochets. All right, go ahead and make another single crochet there. So this way your work is joined, but you can see it's a bit loose. So it's just so that you can see the middle part, because in the end of the day, you're going to work coming from down here, going that side. So you are not going to skip this part. You are also going to insert a single crochet there. Okay. So remember that we have worked, we have left 30 stitches also here, which means 30 stitches or 30 chains will have to correspond here. So as you pick, you count your stitches. Okay, so it's 1 for 1, 1 for 1, 1 for 1, just like that. So I'm going to turn my work because I want to work from the chains, these chains. All right, because it's easier that way. So I'm going to pick here and pick on the first. Okay, then you grab your yarn, make a slip knot. Okay, since you have already picked, you are going to attach that way. You have attached. All right, make sure you're picking from one side, and also make sure that your sleeve is well put. Okay, so I'm going to go into the same space and finally place my single crochet. All right, so I'm going to pick from the side into the middle part, single crochet, pick into the ribbed part. All right, the one that is above. If you understand, when I say above, I mean this one. This one is the lower part, this one is the upper part. All right, in, that means you're going on the low side, single crochet, in the upper side, single crochet, in the lower side, single crochet. So that's how you are going to do to make sure that everything is corresponding. In the upper part, single crochet, in the lower part, single crochet. All right, so continue doing that. So I'm left with one stitch. I don't know if you can see properly since I'm working with black. So I'm going to go ahead, put my single crochet. This is how it looks. All right, so we are at the point where we have to join our sleeve together into a sleeve. All right, so you are also going to make sure that everything is corresponding. Okay, so I'm going to go in to the space and do connect that. All right, from here you have to make sure that everything is corresponding. So starting from the bottom, all your 18 slip stitches, all your 16 slip stitches, so you should align. So you're going to make sure that and align everything else all the way up to the armpit. All right, so after that you're going to keep on working your single crochets, but I'll show you how to work them here, because here you're going to work them differently. So what you're going to do here is that you are going to pick from the back loop, go into the other side, make a single crochet, the back loop, the other side, single crochet, back loop, the other side, single crochet, because this side is the side where I started my foundation chain, and this side is where I'm picking from the back loop, into the chain, just like that. So this will help to avoid that chunky fill or chunky join underneath your sleeve. So you're going to go that, as you can see, I had marked my stitches so that they can correspond. You're going to do that, and then we'll meet on the end. I'm almost coming to the end, so I'm at the part of the ribbing. So even here on the ribbing, the way you join it, you're going to pick from this the back loops, which now seem to be the front loops, okay, since the work is now on the other side. So you're going to pick exactly there and go on the chain and do that. Okay, so I am at the very end. Okay, so I'm going to insert my last single crochet. Okay, chain 1 and cut my yarn. So I have these 3 tails which I will weave in at the end. So you're going to do that as well at the end of your project. You're going to have to weave in these so that you have a cleaner look, and weave in all the other tails that needs weaving in. Sorry. So at this point, this is how neat looking our sleeve is. As you can see, the join seems to be invisible because we picked from the previous back loop, which now seemed to be the what you call the front loop. Okay, even here on the ribbing, it looks very neat. And I know unfortunately I'm using black and you won't be able to see properly, so go ahead and repeat the same process that you did on the other side, and we'll meet at the end of that. So when you're done with everything, joining the body, the sleeves and everything, so you're going to make the neck ribbing. So what you're going to do is going to take your hook, the very same hook, and your yarn, make a slip knot. You're going to chain up to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're going to chain 7. The seventh, sorry, it's for a turning chain. So you're going to go ahead and do your slip stitches, 1 and then 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. All right, after this you're going to chain 1, turn your work and work slip stitches in the back loop only, the same as you were doing on the cuffs or the ribbing, the same as you were doing this bottom ribbing and the cuff ribbing. All right, you're going to insert slip stitches on the back loop only, and make sure you count everything because you have to end up with 6 slip stitches. So you're going to do that at the end of the second row, chain 1, turn your work and do the slip stitches on the back loop only. So what's basically going to happen is that since your foundation chains were for my work it was 74, all right, and which means the other side is also 74, this part, right, this part, the same way we started. I started with a chain of 74 and a repeat is another 74, okay, making it 148. So it's going to be 148 plus the difference here or 4 inches, which is about 18 stitches. Okay, so you're going to add this to the 18 stitches. All right, so that's 16, and then 166. All right, that makes it 166, and you're going to add 2 more stitches for the turning chains, which is going to be around 168 stitches. So 168 stitches, that means you're going to make you're going to make 168 rows, okay, of the ribbing. Each time you turn, it's a row. Each time you turn, it's a row. Okay, so if you want to do your cardigan with buttons, the last 8 stitches you're going to put what you call, you're going to have to make your buttonholes. All right, so you're going to space them with 2 inches each. So you're going to work the ribbing, and that is equivalent to what you're doing to this measurements. All right, so we're going to do that, and I'll see you at the end. So I've come to the end of my ribbing, my neck ribbing. Yeah, that's how long it is. And then if you want to put the buttons, okay, this is what you're going to do. You're going to chain 1. All right, turn your work, and then make a slip stitch 1, and then 2, and then you're going to chain 1, 2, 3, and then you skip 2 chains, and then on the next you're going to do your slip stitch, and then on the last one you're going to put your last slip stitch. Okay, then you're going to chain 1, turn your work, do your slip stitch on the first, another slip stitch on the second, and then so after these 2 slip stitches you're going to chain 2 and skip 2, and into the next you're going to put a slip stitch and your last slip stitch the same way that you have been doing. You chain 1, turn your work, continue with your slip stitches, 1 and the second slip stitch, then into the hole that you created you're going to go in with 2 single crochets so that it can be a little bit firm. All right, then go ahead into the next chain, back loop only, slip stitch, into the last one, slip stitch. All right, from there you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and go ahead and work your slip stitches the same way that you've been working so that everything can correspond. That's why you just put, we did 2 here. And then depending on the spacing that you want, for me I prefer 2 inches, so you're going to work for 2 inches and then you create another button hole. If you want more, you can keep doing more and more depending on the buttons that you want. For me, I'm just going to put 3. So that is that, and you'll have to, I'll come back to show you how to attach this to the body. So attaching the ribbing, there's a ribbing into the body of the sweater. You are going to make sure that everything is corresponding. Insert your hook the way you see me doing, and also on the ribbing. Okay, and then from there you're going to get your yarn. You get your yarn, make a slipped knot, and then you attach the same way as you were attaching the sleeves to the body. Then you chain one, go in again into the same spot and make a single crochet. All right, so similarly you are going to pick from one side into the other side and make sure that everything is corresponding. Remember, this row, this rigged row, it's a row, and this also is a row, the bridge also is a row. Okay, so we are going to make sure that everything is corresponding. And then if the side you have picked on the bridge, the same way as you were doing when you're joining the arms or the sleeves, you'll pick just like that and do your single crochets. You go in, pick, single crochets, and make sure everything is corresponding. So you're going to do that all the way until you reach the other side of the sweater. So I've actually decided to go for 2 buttons instead of 3 as I mentioned before. So on the wrong side of my work, I'll just merge the 2 together and place a finger where I think is the right place, and then I'm using this button. Okay, so I'm going to place it right there, and using my hand sewing needle, I'm just going to my button. I've already installed one. And leave a little tail so that you can fasten off with it when you are finally done. Always make sure that your button is straight. Go in and out a couple of times just to make sure that it's secure. When you're done, you're going to cut the excess yarn and secure this knot. Okay, and we can cut off the excess yarn. So this is how your buttons are looking like on the right side. So that's the last step of our tutorial. You're going to insert the flowers that you just made. You're going to place them randomly the way you prefer them, and you're going to grab your hook and use it to attach. So you're going to put your hook under into the space where you are to attach and get these yellow tails. All right, and put them in. All right, go ahead and tuck in the white ones also. Okay, so this side, this is how your work will look. Okay, and turn it inside out and make sure you secure this together. All right, and this is how it looks underneath. So if you want to secure it further, you can take a darning needle and go back through also to put here. Okay, and pull it through, and your flowers will be secure. Okay, this is what I meant. You're going to grab on this tail and this one also, because they are the long ones. Okay, pierce through in, go into the flower, pick from the flower, and make sure your picking doesn't appear on the other side of the flower, and then you pull. As you can see, it does not appear. And then go ahead into the same hole, you tuck in, okay, and use this little tail to secure this together, and make sure it's secure. In this way your flower is stable. Okay, so you're going to do that for the rest of the body of the cardigan, and you're basically done with the tutorial. And thank you so much for watching. Until next time.